Good morning, ma'am.
Very good morning to you.
Ma'am, my name is Harshit. I need few minutes of your time, madam.
Yes, Mr. Harshit, how can I help you?
Ma'am, I'm planning to enter into import business, madam. So I need some guidance regarding the procedures to be followed during the customs clearance procedure. Can you please help me, madam?
Certainly will. Please go ahead.
Ma'am, what are the things I should follow while importing some goods?
For any commercial import, you have to first prepare by getting an importer-exporter code and register yourself with the GSTN portal.
Ma'am, you are referring about importer-exporter code. What is importer-exporter code, madam, and how do I get it?
Importer-exporter code is a key business identification number and it is PAN based, and without this IEC you cannot do import or export. It is granted by the Directorate General of Foreign Trade, and to know more about this and the foreign trade policy of India, you can visit the website dgft.gov.in.
Ma'am, you are also referring to GST registration. Is it compulsory that I have to get a GST registration?
Import of goods in India attract integrated goods service tax. Hence, it is mandatory that the importer has to declare the GSTN number at the time of importation. And IGST paid on the imported goods can be passed on as input tax credit. To obtain this GSTN, that is Goods Service Tax Identification Number, you have to register in gst.gov.in. For further information and details about this, you can watch the YouTube video on registration by NASIN Chennai channel.
Ma'am, now that I have received my IEC code and also GST registration, what are the things I need to do further, ma'am?
The next thing is you have to register in the IceGate portal, where all processes relating to customs clearances are done by the importer or his or her agent. For this registration, you need a digital signature. Hence, the importer or his or her agent should have the digital signature credentials. And this portal enables the submission of digital documents on 24/7 basis. Next, you have to collect the additional supporting documents and additional documents depending on the commodity of the import and file in the portal.
Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening me regarding the earlier documents. And what other documents should I carry for the imported clearance?
In general, the documents required for import clearance are a signed invoice, packing list, a GAT declaration duly filled in, importer or customs broker's declaration, and delivery order or airway bill or bill of lading, and letter of credit if required, import license wherever required, industrial license if required, and insurance document, test report in case of chemicals, catalog, technical write-up or literature in case of machinery, spares and chemicals, and certificate of origin if preferential rate of duty is claimed.
Thank you, madam. Now that I am registered in the SGATE portal also and I have all the supporting documents, what other documents or what other things I have to do further, ma'am?
On arrival of the goods, you have to file the bill of entry in the IceGate portal with the supporting documents.
Ma'am, you are referring to filing of bill of entry in the IceGate portal. Ma'am, what is bill of entry?
Bill of entry is a legal document containing the details of the goods being imported. This is a declaration made by the importer or his or her agent with the customs department for the purpose of the clearances. And this bill of entry contains the details of description, the classification, value, quantity, applicable rate of duty, exemption benefit claimed by notification if any, of etc. of the imported goods.
Ma'am, you are saying that in the bill of entry you have to fill classification and rate of duty. Ma'am, I am not aware of those things, those terminology. Can you please elaborate on those things?
Classification means identifying the correct 8-digit code under which the imported goods falls in Indian customs tariff. This is based on harmonized system nomenclature used by customs worldwide to identify the products correctly without translating into different languages. And a rate of duty is based on the classifications and exemption notifications claimed and as per the Indian customs tariff.
Thank you, madam, for explaining regarding classification and rate of duty. Are there any other details which I need to be filled in the bill of entry, madam?
All details relating to the imported goods have to be filled in the bill of entry, such as bill of lading, marks and numbers, weight of the goods, number of packages, invoice number, currency of the invoice and terms of invoice, importer name, importer address, supplier address and port of loading and port of destination, etc.
Ma'am, now that I have filled the bill of entry, what happens after that, please?
Once you file a bill of entry, depending upon the risk score of your declaration, there are 4 possible outcomes. If your declaration is of the lowest risk score, then your declaration will be accepted, that is self-assessment, and the goods will be allowed for clearance without examination. This will lead to the payment of duty on verifying compulsory compliance requirements. After this, the goods are given out of charge.
Ma'am, you are saying that compulsory compliance requirements will be checked, and for the goods, it will be given out of charge. Ma'am, what is this out of charge and how will I know the status of the out of charge?
You can track the bill of entry and the out of charge, that is OOC, in the iSgate portal, and then you can take the delivery of your goods. And as I told you earlier, if your self declaration has the highest risk score, then what will happen is your declaration will not be accepted and your self declaration will be subjected to assessment, and once assessment is completed and duty is paid, then the goods will also be taken up for examination before giving out of charge.
Ma'am, you are saying that bill of entry will be subjected to customs assessment. Ma'am, what is this assessment? Can you please elaborate?
During assessment, the officer checks the classification, rate of duty and any conditions which are applicable for availing the exemption notifications, and also whether any restriction is there for the particular commodity which is imported. And if the officer has any doubt, he will raise a query and you have to satisfactorily reply to the query. And in 2020, a faceless assessment has been introduced. This means that there is no need for any physical interface with the assessing officer. You can file a bill of entry online in Chennai, and this bill of entry can be assessed by any officer from across the country.
Ma'am, you are saying that whenever I import some goods, they have to undergo compulsory compliance requirements. Ma'am, what are these requirements? Can you please elaborate?
Besides customs law, there are different agencies which also stipulates various conditions for the import of any commodity. These compulsory compliance requirements vary from commodity to commodity. For example, if you are importing a pharmaceutical product, then you have to get a no objection certificate from Central Drugs and Standards Control Authority. And if it is an animal product which you are importing, you have to get a no objection certificate from Animal Quarantine, and so on.
Ma'am, you are saying about different organizations which give different no objection certificates for these compliance reports. Should I have to go physically to these all offices, or is there any other facility which I can avail?
No, from 2016, the compliances and verifications of various agencies are brought under the SWIFT clearance, that is single window interface for facilitating trade. Under this SWIFT clearance, your document, that is your declaration which is filed, will be an integrated document which will contain the various requirements under the other agencies, and this will be routed to the different agencies online itself, and if all the requirements are met, the clearances also will be given from those agencies online. And in cases where they need to go for sampling or testing based on sampling, the customs officer along with the agency will come and take the sample of the imported goods, or sometimes even the customs officer may take the sample and forward to the concerned agency.
Ma'am, when you are explaining about low risk bill of entries and high risk bill of entries, you are mentioning that there are total 4 scenarios. Ma'am, what are the other scenarios?
One of the possible scenario is your self-assessment declaration is accepted. However, the goods are taken up for examination. In case of pharmaceutical products, for testing of samples, examination could be done. The other scenario is the bill of entry is taken up for assessment by the assessment officer to verify the classification, rate of duty, and applicability of your exemption claimed under notifications, and also the value of the goods. And there may not be an examination depending upon the outcome of the assessment.
Ma'am, what are the different modes of import through which I can import the goods?
You can import by sea, air or land borders, and the vessel or aircraft carrying your imported goods can offload the goods only in the notified seaport, airport or land customs station. And before the arrival of the goods, the import general manifest containing the details of all the imported goods have to be filed by the vessel operator or his agent, and a bill of entry can be filed only after a IGM is filed.
Thank you, ma'am. Since there are different modes of import, I can do my business accordingly and plan my business accordingly. Ma'am, is there any time limit for filing bill of entry?
The importer should file the bill of entry before the end of the day, that is including holidays, preceding the day on which the vessel or vehicle or aircraft arrives at the customs station. And you can file the bill of entry in advance prior to but not prior to 30 days before the arrival of the vehicle. And it is always advisable to file the bill of entry in advance so as to avoid payment of penalty for delay in filing bill of entry.
Ma'am, will there be any assistance while importing the goods, or every importer like me have to do all the work on his own?
Yes, there are customs brokers licensed by the customs department, and you can approach any of these customs brokers for the clearing and forwarding of your importing goods.
That's wonderful, madam. I'm glad that I'll have somebody to assist me while clearing the imports. Thank you very much.
Hope I have clarified all your doubts, Mr. Harshit. For any detailed informations, you can visit our customs portal foservices.icegate.gov.in/cap, which gives the details of all customs procedures and compulsory compliance requirements for the import and export. This portal also gives the contact details and web links of the different regulatory agencies for involved commodity wise, for the Indian customs tariff item wise, and this also gives the rate of duty applicable as well as the taxes for each commodity. And to know more about our Indian customs, you can visit our official website cbac.gov.in.
Thank you very much, madam, for your patience and guidance. You have been very helpful and kind to me.
Mr. Harshit, we at Customs are always here to ensure trade facilitation and help young entrepreneurs like you, and best wishes.
Thank you very much.